the spotlight on the need for personal brand today, and this clear departure from mainstream media versus, oh wait, every individual that is public has an opportunity to have a personal brand. It's bright, it's hot right now, right? But you're talking about doing this in 2010?
07.
Something like that?
Yeah,
07, right.
Yeah.
So started in 07, and the idea was, and fill in the gaps here, but the idea was people that are either business people or artists need to be highlighted in some way to get more attention and look more important, get the as seen on credentials, to be highlighted as really, and this is 2007, but an influencer in their space or a center of influence in their space. Is that accurate?
It is. I would say the way I would particularly delineate it is, if you want a seat at the table, you have to look like you belong. And now if you can't deliver, you're going to get kicked out of the table real fast. We've all seen that. Or if you're a shyster or you rip people off, whatever. But what I realized, and so, there's that adage I've been quoting a lot recently, like, you write the book, the author, and every author writes the book they need to read. Like, that's like a big deal. Like you have this revelation, and really it's really for you as much or more than anybody else. I think I built the business I wanted to hire, right? Because again, I had been working in music as a kid and trying to get a seat at the table, man. Like, just what do I have to do? I read this book. It says, if you want to be in music, you got to have an entertainment lawyer. Well, I'm 16. I can't even return my phone call. It's not like I have connections and my family's it just didn't happen. So I was just frustrated by the fact that there's a few barriers to entry that are in a lot of cases unnecessary and very hard. Like, if you look at it's not a fully fair representation, but I think it's an accurate one. A lot of times, to get on TV, to get on the news, to get in print publications and stuff, number one, a big function of it can be how much money do you have to hire the right PR firm? Like, that's a big deal. And then who decides at the news station? Do you know them? Do you have a family friend? There's just so many variables. It's not completely editorial, no matter what anyone wants to tell you, or at the very least, people have biases. So I was like, well, that's frustrating. Like, I could be a heart surgeon saving people's lives every day, but the Orlando Sentinel doesn't find that interesting daily. So what does it take to get someone like that featured, to get them to gain some credibility and some media attention so that they can then use it in their business? And what I really figured out from working with the bands and the other things was, all three of these things you must have in order to operate on all cylinders. And that's media, marketing, and PR. The problem is, PR is super sexy. So, a lot of people sell that, and I'm not saying it's a bad service, but if you have just PR without marketing to go with it, like, you just blew a bunch of money typically. Like, if you were on the front page of USA Today, I didn't see it. You probably didn't see it, and it's just going to disappear tomorrow. So what do you do with that? But the fact that if you were in it and you can use that in your marketing, well, man, now all of a sudden, you're not just another dentist in wherever. You're the dentist that's been on NBC, CBS, ABC, and Fox affiliates across the country. You're a best-selling author. You've been in major print publications, Forbes, Inc., USA Today. And so I started figuring out, oh, wait a second. What we all really want is some credibility and different media to share our story. We want some PR to validate who we are. And then we need good marketing to let the world know we exist. And all those media credentials and good media will actually make people stop and pay attention. And ideally, you can find some number of clients that would be right fit clients. And the more you share your story, by the way, the good and the bad, the more authentic you are, the more you're going to attract right fit clients. That doesn't mean that by definition means most people probably aren't going to be a right fit. But the ones who are, as you know, it's really simple. Like, people who really get how you operate and have similar views to you, have similar beliefs, and whether it's grit and hard work and determination or philanthropy or whatever it is, like, it's easy to do business with them because they're like, oh, I trust this person because why? Because they're just like me. Great, let's do business together. And so a big part of what I've done all along, I would just distill down to this and then I'll stop. Branding is simply storytelling. And a great brand is a story other people want to share for you. And so really the focus of everything I have done has become storytelling through documentaries. But of course it works through marketing. And if I trace it back, really, as a songwriter, starting to write songs at 15, that's one of the hardest forms of storytelling there is. You get like 12 lines, 2 verses and 1 chorus and maybe a bridge to bring someone into a scenario, make them laugh, cry, or feel differently about something, and then they move on, and you're going to try to make them remember it. So I guess in a way, I didn't really realize it, but I've always been fascinated by really good storytelling because of the human connection it brings. And that's what brands do. A good brand is just a great story.